Hi, here on the Unfamous Fly today I'm going to do a step-by-step video for you, tying one of my favourite Grayling flies is Red Tag Jig Bug. This was a fly that was shown to me by John Emerson, who runs the uniqueflies.co.uk website, and it's been one of the most successful flies I've used for fishing for Grayling, and it's rarely far from the point of my cast. So we shall get one of our hooks into the device here. Got a hook here already set up with a tungsten 3.5mm bead on it. Colour of the bead is largely up to you. The original was silver, but you can use gold, black, pink, anything you want really. And the size of the bead also really depends what fits on the hook, but you can use even as many as 2 beads if you're looking for something to really get down to the bottom in fast moving water. But this is a sort of standard variant if you like. The hooks I'm using are Hanak H400 BLs, and I'm going to use a size 10 for the demo today. Size 12s and size 14s are quite common as well. Much smaller than that would have to be fairly specialist sort of cases, I would think, because it is used as a point fly and you do want the things to get down onto the bottom. Be very successful for me. I've caught a lot of grayling with this. Anyway, let's get started. The thread I'm using is olive nano silk. You could use 80 uni if you wished. I just prefer the nano. It's very strong and I can get away with playing with it fairly tightly. So tie right down to the bend, and you're going to put in your tag. So I've already got one made up here just to save a bit of time, but you're going to use number 5 Glow Bright floss. Take a length, just keep doubling it up and till you've got a nice thick bit of material. Pinch and loop over the top, a couple of wraps just to hold it down, and then you want to tidy that up just to get rid of the stray ends. We'll lose the top behind the bead here. Escapee there. So behind the bead. Next you want to put in your wire rib. Now for the wire rib, the original had red rib, and I'm using red medium wire. Again, you could vary this if you choose. You can put in silver wire or pink wire, whatever you want. It's always a good idea to have a few variants in your box. If the fish suddenly become wary of one, just a small adjustment can be enough to pick up an extra fish or two. So tying our wire back down to the base of our tag, and then we're ready to tie in our body. So the body is, I'm using blister dubbing in olive, dark olive. You could use some sort of green, light bright, anything like that. It's quite a coarse dub in this, so it often takes quite a bit on your thread to really make a decent rope. So you want to try and get a bit of a taper in there, and we'll start winding that on, just tighten it up. Just wind that up, get a bit of a taper. Don't worry if it gets a wee bit straggly, it's not too bad. And you don't want it to come all the way up to the bead, you want to leave a bit of a gap here. So a couple of wraps just to lock that, and then bring your wire 3 or maybe 4 even wraps over the body up behind the bead. So just give it, give that a bit of a tighten, and cut off the loose end. Now, I'm just using an old pair of scissors for cutting wire here, but I wouldn't normally recommend using scissors on wire. And we'll just tidy that up. Okay, so now the wee bit fiddly bit. So you want to get yourself a CDC feather. This is the style of feather you want, a fairly sort of full one, not the long slim kind, and you want to pull back the fibres 90 degrees to the stem. And get yourself a bulldog clip and clip half the feather inside so that you can get access to the stalk. And you want to get your sharp scissors, ideally if you've got longer scissors than I've got, cut along the line of the stalk till you've got a straight edge of your fibres, like that. So next you get another bulldog clip and transfer the fibres from one to the other, and that gives you all the natural ends sticking out. So get yourself a dubbin twister, take your thread through the dubbin twister and back round the hook so you've left a loop, and wax that. I use quite a sticky wax for this. I use Vineyard's tacky wax, but make sure that's waxed, because you're now going to bring the feather fibres into the middle of that gap and pull the dubbin twister tight, locking the fibres in there, and then give it a spin. Plenty spins. Now I think with some dubbin twisters you can get away with using it to wind on, but in my case I prefer to transfer to a set of hackle pliers, which I'm just going to bring in here. That allows me to take this out of the way, and you're now going to wind on the hackle that we have here, and you're just going to keep wrapping it round, pulling the fibres back so you don't trap any. Round your hook. It gives you a nice straggly sort of leggy effect. And finally tie that off with your thread. And cut away the excess. So now you're left with this wee gap in here. And this, in here you can put a different coloured thorax if you choose. You could put a pink thorax or black, anything you want. But the original was the same colour as the body, so for the purposes of the video we'll just stick to that. But I do often put a pink thorax, is quite common on my ones. Just wind that in there. Try not to trap any of the hackle as you do it. Get that in nice and tight, and then a couple of wraps just to lock it, and then you're ready to tie off your thread. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally you want to take your tag and cut it level with the back of the hook, like that. And that's your Red Tag Jig Bug. Excellent wee fly on the Grayling. Have fun with it, play about with it. I do a variant in pink, which is also good as a standby, but the original still seems to be the best. So I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe we'll make another one of these videos in the future. Thanks.